Hi, you guys. Ginger Cook here. It's Acrylic Painting Monday, and we're going to be celebrating rain today. Since we've gone all summer in Texas without any, I thought it would be fun to maybe we could just paint some rain. What do you think? Maybe we get some rain then. Of course, if you're living in some places in the world, then maybe you're having too much rain. But in any event, this is a fall painting. We're doing this as a premiere, which means that we're airing it first. So I want to thank our moderators, whoever you are that have shown up for this. We appreciate it very much. And we're going to get right to painting this picture. Let's just have some fun, keep it spectacular but simple. The traceables will be on our website, acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com, and you just need to be an orange member or above to get the traceable, okay? I think you're going to learn a lot about water reflections and just having something simple but spectacular in your bag of tricks as an artist. I hope you enjoy it.
We know you'll enjoy it.
Well, yeah, hope so. Okay, so I started with a red canvas. You could start with a brown canvas, but I wanted red because I wanted the skin tones, and I also thought maybe I'd like some red reflections. I want to just change this quite a bit from what's here to be a little bit more arty. You know, we already have a photograph. You hear me say that all the time. The colors we're using are cad red medium, naphtha crimson, magenta, a phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, purple, phthalo green, titanium white, of course, and zinc white. And I think we're going to get a little of this buff titanium color. That's a good leg color. So if you have that, that's a nice color to have. It's good skin tone. And
if I don't have that, do I know how to make it?
Yeah, you could make it with just white and a little bit of yellow oxide, and a little bit of brown, but mostly white. So let's put a little of that right here, okay? A little buff titanium, all right? So, all right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to save the shape of the legs I've got. Like I say, we've already traced these out. And while I'm tracing this out, again, I want to thank our moderators who have been so great about coming here.
I can't believe they made it another week in a row. Look at that.
And we thank you very much for that. Where are we, John, supposed to be right now?
Where are we? We are somewhere. Oh.
We're just getting to Australia, right?
Not yet, I think. Let me grab my calendar because it knows where I am.
Is it? Where are we?
26. Oh, we're over in the Greece area.
Of September?
Yep.
We're in Greece. All right.
Greece. Now, the previous show on the 19th, we're not sure if we're going to be there, if we were there live or not. You guys will know now, but that's our fly day, so we're not sure.
Yeah, it's our fly day. We just don't do a...
I'm not sure they're going to let us broadcast from the airport, from the airplane.
No, they won't let us broadcast.
I don't understand why. I mean, we're important people. Just look at us.
Yeah, I can see. Well, you'd think that. So let's just go ahead and I'm just going to put the buff titanium on now.
That's just straight buff?
Yeah, I just kind of locking in the color. And you want to make sure you get the top of that shoe kind of curved where the foot is. Get the shape of this. This is very important. If you just do straight legs, it's going to look a little odd. I'm going to take a little bit of, I think I had a little bit of cadmium orange, which I didn't talk about. I'm going to put some of that up here like that. I meant to tell you and I forgot. Cadmium orange will keep up this a little higher. This is under the shadow of this kind of beaded skirt. So we're just going to put that up like that. All right. Well, that's our first. It just, again, I'm doing this because I want to make sure that I don't, see this comes over the toe like that. And I don't want to lose that shape at all of the leg. See how this comes out here like that and comes down. This is one where I would highly recommend you trace it on. Okay. And even down here, we can put a little bit more down down here. Okay, where the foot's going over the heel, all right? So, isn't that funny? Even with that shape, you kind of know it's a leg, don't you?
I do.
It's really interesting. All right, so I've got that, and I'm going to take a smaller brush and I want to paint the shoes. And these are shoes that I'm going to paint Payne's Gray. I feel like that's the color we want. Payne's Gray is black and ultramarine blue. You could do black also. I think I put Payne's Gray somewhere. We go through this. I had all the paints out except for that. What's this one? Mars Black. Well, I'll show you how to make it then, because I just didn't see my Payne's Gray here. There's some black. And I'll take a little bit of the ultramarine blue and a tiny bit of black, about 50-50. And I'm just going to, again, I don't want to lose the shape of my shoe, because this is the easy thing to have happen. So, and these little detail brushes, we like them so much. And we found these on Amazon. And what's neat about them is that there's like 16 in a set. And they were designed for people that do models. Okay? And I'm going to just go ahead and put this heel down like that. Let's do this too. And so they need to, when you're doing like little model miniature people with all the detail that they put in those, you need
yeah, currently right now they're $25.95 as of September 26th, 2020, and there's 17 brushes in there.
Okay, and they're really nice. I've only worn out a couple of them. And I probably paint a lot more than you guys do. All right, so there's the top of that. So I've got I've kind of saved my shoes. It's kind of pop art if we didn't do much, right, to that. So I sort of saved my shoes here. And then one of the advantages of doing a premiere is that I can dry as I go. And that really helps me a lot. So I will take a moment here and just dry this, all right? I want you to really have a good time with this. All right, now I'm going to make sure I get all the black out of my brush, because I want the shoes to be very bright, and I'm going to paint them. Even though the heels are going to be red, I'm going to paint them white first, because I want the red to be as bright as I can have it. And I will get the most results out of it. The biggest bang for my buck as far as, having a bright red. If red that's over white is going to be brighter than red over just the other red. Okay, that's just, we'll use like a cadmium red on it, and it will be pretty good right there. So we're going to say that's white. Now, I hope everybody's been reading the YouTube Gazette, because in our travels, and I want you to look forward to it as we go places, like we're going to be in Greece. We've got a lot of time in Greece and in Italy and so forth, and we want to take you on our trip. So John and I thought we would include in our Gazette photographs of what we're doing. This is a trip that we had planned before COVID, and we were finally able to take it. It was nice of the cruise company to
patiently wait
to credit us with the ability so we could go. Thought that was very nice. But anyway, that's so we're here. We're traveling, and we're taking you with us. All right. So here we go. I'm going to dry this. Now our street, to get the feeling of water and so forth, we're going to have a lot of different colors on it in it, and so we're going to start with some background, and I want to take white and a little bit of purple and a tiny bit of black. Okay, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to just ignore my dress here. I'll put it. She can get dressed later. Okay, and I want to come across here like this. So I want this. But mostly, you want to finish the brush strokes off back and forth like that. Okay, so the trick is we want to, have some different colors in here. So just sort of weave it in there a little bit, and let's take a little bit more. I want a little lighter gray coming down in here, like this, down like that. Playing with our light a little bit. I know I want something very light next to this leg. Sometimes it's easier for me if I just come like this and then pull it toward me, rather than, you make a habit of turning your canvas, I hope. Okay, so again, we don't want all one color. You want sort of a marbling of colors, but I want something kind of light next to here. I've got a pretty good reference photo on how the lights and darks are going in this, right? And I want something a little purplier in here. So this is kind of layering. This is where you got to play a little bit with the layering and say, okay, so I want something like that. Couple of ways we could do this, but I kind of decided this is the way we're going to do it. Could have done the dark first and then dried it, but I kind of been hesitant to do that. We know we've got something dark in here, kind of wiggle it back and forth like that. And so if you put it in the wet on wet like this, and what happens is it's going to kind of blend into this. That's like too much paint, so I'd wipe that off and then kind of maybe come under here like that, put a little light on my brush, and just lighten that up there. See what I mean? I don't want something that dark on that, like that. But, kind of wiggle this back and forth, but keeping everything level. And I'm going to take a little bit of the buff titanium now in brown, and then in here, some burnt sienna and a little black. Okay, I'm going to come up this way. Now, let's make a gray color. Come this way, and then over here, we're going to bring this color over that way. Where the brown's down in here. I don't want big gobs of paint. See, look at that. The paint's kind of dried out because we've been using this palette for a while. And we got a stay wet palette, which we do like, but you want to make certain that you're not getting gobs of paint in here. And here's some darker brown up in here like this. And it's going to go back and forth like that. Here's a little bit of yellow oxide. Might put some right down here and some cad yellow light. Let's put some of that going this way. Come up in here. So as I'm adding the colors, okay, I'm really paying attention to my lights and darks, and where I want my grays and my purples and my beiges. You don't want big globs of paint like that. You want to just try to keep this first group pretty loose, because we'll layer over this, but right now we're just getting something in here kind of like that, and then like this. And if you have questions, if I hope you're watching this during the live chat, and if you weren't able to, shoot to make sure that you've got it activated on your your computer or phone so you can read the live chat. That maybe if this is broadcasting a bit later. Okay. Here's some blue down in here. I'm going to pull some of this color down here at the bottom. A little bit of ultramarine blue and black, kind of your Payne's gray colors. You see how I'm kind of going back and forth like this. And what I like about a painting like this, it could be anybody. Well, any woman, not anybody, but...
I'm saying my legs don't quite look that good.
No, that's true, they don't. But, but it could be, it doesn't have to be... When you paint people from behind, you've got a lot more room for...
passing it off to somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes more universal. Like, oh, that's my mom. She always wore shoes like that, and I remember her going to work, or whatever the deal is, right? And so that's what I'm talking about when you're saying that's you can be a little bit more general. You want to, when you paint people from behind as an artist, and some of you have found that you'd really like to be able to sell your paintings for, and sell them, and like I know we've got some of you that are doing shows and so forth. And if you're doing an art show, they really pretty much want you to come up with original stuff. You can't, copy something I've done or the art Sherpa, my daughter, and enter an art show and be okay with it because they want to see original stuff. But you can learn how we did this and maybe find another picture that you like, another reference photo, and you'll know how to do it. Or if you wanted to sell it, that's fine. We don't mind if you want to sell these. So you could certainly sell it too. And that would be something that you would have more than I think that if this is the kind of thing I think that people would resonate with. I know that we did our red shoes. Everybody loved the red shoes that we had, and blue jeans. That's on the YouTube. That's one of our shows that we have on YouTube. And let's see, I'm going to just do this because we've got that leg going off this way. Okay, so we've got at this point we'll change it a little bit, but we're just going to indicate we got a shadow there. Okay, let's take a little bit of purple and magenta, or ultramarine blue and magenta. Come on up here now. Let's just get some colors going. And over here, this is how we just keep layering our colors. And, you want to make sure that when you're having a dark, you might put the same thing on the other side of the leg too. And at some point, I'm going to dry this because I want the I want to add some lights to this, and it's a little hard to do that if everything's dark. So but you've got if you can see the reference photo and kind of where I did some stuff. Okay. So see, this little bit of red's pretty by the shoe. I don't know that I want to get rid of all that. That's why somebody said, why did you do a red background? Well, because like here's a little it's a little bit of cadmium orange, and my brush is dirty, so it won't be that bright. But I want some lights in here, like there's lights in the street. And a little bit brighter than what we had up here in the, here's a little zinc white. Too much paint on the brush, let's wipe some of that off. See, I'll come up here like this, toop, 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 toop. See, that's kind of cool. So some questions have come up in the past that people want to know. One of the things that came up the other day was someone said they couldn't log into our website. That suddenly their videos were gone, they couldn't log in. And Acrylic Painting with Ginger Cook, where we have over 500 step-by-step videos on how to paint everything from very simple things like this, more complicated, no matter where you are as an artist. Plus, we offer the opportunity, if you want to do it, of personal art coaching. Now, what was interesting to me, this person, first off, you're having a problem with the website. Write us, contact us. You know, if you put it in our Facebook page, that doesn't help. If John and I are traveling, we may not see it, but he sees his emails. He sees the contact us. And we've got other, somebody, one of our moderators, Liz, also helps John with the page. She may see it. But if you want your question answered, that would be the way to have that happen. All right? And so I would stress that. It's kind of one of the things you want to do. And I think we've got one of the most marvelous online schools in the world because of the way it's set up, and tons of videos, and we add new ones all the time. And we offer that you have an opportunity, if you want to take advantage of some of the membership levels, offer you the advantage of if you're just stuck or you just want to know what I think, send it in to me and I'll tell you. Maybe you need to, make the shoe darker, or, make a light here and there. Sometimes it's the smallest things, but it makes such a difference. So we encourage that. And if you haven't decided, if you're sitting on the fence, try us for a month. Try us for a month and see what you think. All right. So I'm going to dry this, John.
All right.
Okay. So think what I'd like to do next is work on the legs and the shoes. So that's my plan.
Good plan.
Small brush. Got some small ones somewhere. All right, here's a small little Bristol on bright brush. It's a number 2. All right, so let's start with a little bit of a tan color here, a little bit of cad red, brown, and say yellow. Burnt sienna, yellow, and cad red, right? I want to come up here like that, and I'm going to say I want this leg a little darker up here. Down to the back of her shoe. And then as I come over on the right, I'll put a little bit more orange here. I'm going to turn it like that. And let's do this. I want something a little darker. So I want a little bit more burnt sienna right here. And just kind of blend that in. Maybe a little bit more of the burnt umber right there. Just get this leg up here. So if that's the case, then what I need to do is just, I need something light right here. I didn't get close enough to this leg. So now I'll come in here with this lighter color on the background. So I haven't lost my leg there. Don't want to lose an arm and a leg, right? Isn't that what they say?
Not.
Can't lose an arm and a leg, right? It's because we didn't get as close to this as we could have. And that's what a little brush does. Is we're just going to get a little closer. Like here's something pretty that's right in here, right? This part of the ankle right here. I might want this darker. There you go. In other words, I don't want to outline this, but on the other hand, maybe just a little bit. We can outline it just a little bit. And then put a little bit right there on that side so it kind of all goes through. Yeah. And then let's do a little bit of burnt umber here. Now put the paint on the brush. And notice I put the paint on the brush and then I wipe it off. Some of you are not doing that. And I think you'll find your paintings come out a little better if you do that. All right, so far so good. I've got this buff titanium here, which I'm going to go ahead and put on this leg now. And there's that. And then I want a little bit of yellow oxide with it for the other leg. I want this to be a little lighter here. Buff titanium and yellow oxide. Still want it light, but I want it too yellow. Let's keep going here. Want this to be lighter here. Sometimes a second coat makes a big difference. And I need it lighter around where the foot goes. Bring this up to the knee, even up here like this. Just bring this up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to dry that before I put the dark, okay? So just hang with me there. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I have all the light off the brush and wipe that off there. Then get some burnt sienna and a little cad red medium, a little bit of yellow. Just make some sort of reddish brown color up here like this. We're going to go ahead and say there's the back part of our leg here, like that. And if you've had too much water on the brush, what's going to happen is that it's not going to work. Oh, look at all that paint. It's not going to work because it's just going to look like a watercolor. So if you get too much paint, you can do that. You can dry it, you can do something like that. But you've got to watch how much paint you're putting on of the brush, because that's the gas pedal. Ooh, that's a good analogy, isn't it, John? That's your gas pedal. And you get too much paint on the brush, then what happens, let's get a little orange up in here, is that you can't manage it. And you have a little painting wreck. You don't know what happened, but you suddenly got yourself in a wreck. You don't want a wreck, so don't do that. Put a little bit of brown coming up here like this, a little bit of shadow.
If too much, just wipe it off.
Yeah, take it off, dry it, whatever you need to do.
Otherwise, you're going to be chasing your tail forever.
Yeah. There's some light up here again. See, and then wipe the paint off and then work the edges around. Don't go over the center, just work in the edges. Let's do a little bit of orange. Kind of a light orange color here. Maybe some cad yellow light. That's a good color I didn't used to use. Cad yellow light, and maybe a bit of white with it. That's a color that I was not used to using. Yeah, I'm just going to blend all this in. Sideways like that. Just kind of smudge this in. A little bit of paint, wipe it off, manage that. It's like if you were cooking, you wouldn't dump the whole salt shaker in your food.
Oh, goodness.
But, people do that with their paintings. That's what's like dumping the whole salt shaker in to the food. Okay? So, we need to come up a little bit tighter with this light line. So we'll just barely see that. Well, we got a nice light line there, and we've got this little bit of this yellow here on this one. A little bit of white and yellow right up in here so they kind of match. Okay, let me rinse my brush out. Let's start again because that's not the color. So let's come over here to some clean white with some yellow. Maybe a little of that buff titanium. I want a little bit of this lighter color right here. There we go. There we go, like that. And let's do a little bit, something a little lighter along this edge, like that. Make sure we've got our back of our heel lit right there. You want that light. So our red, it's interesting, isn't it? And then we want something a little lighter right here, maybe just some buff titanium in this area, the back of this leg. Now I could take that, or I could take what's called a blending brush, which is interesting. We haven't talked about that much, and I haven't used a lot of them before, but Cinnamon sent me one. I really liked it. Remember where we put it?
The cinnamon one?
Yeah.
It's blue handled.
It's blue handled. All right. So she sent me one. Here it is. And I'm just going to take it and blend the outside of that in there like that. And I probably could wet it a little bit too. And look here. These are called, I guess you can get these at Hobby Lobby. These are Princeton number 12 blenders. It does kind of give you a smoother look. See? Doesn't it? Kind of neat, right? Then I might just take a little light right there. Just put a little bit more light right there. Just because I can, right? Something around the knee here. Then we'll come back with the dark paint around this part of the leg. That's because we know we want this darker up here. Bring that down like that, yeah. Now, see, everything's about lights and darks. It's a good lesson in that, right? So that's something we can do. And then if we like it, which I'm pretty happy with it, just a little bit of something there. This would be a very good one on absorbent ground too. If you did golden absorbent ground on your canvas, let it dry a couple days, and did it, I think it would have a very nice wicking effect. But let me just try this. All right, now we're going to do a little tricky thing here. I want something very bright red for my shoes. So, yeah, it's so weird, John. I just had this out not an hour ago, the CAD red light.
It was a big tube. Did you put it over
giant tube.
Did you leave it over on the right side? It's always disappearing.
What is that? Just that they run away. They're going, oh no, she's coming. I'm going. See, this is cadmium red, which is okay, but I want cadmium red light because it's brighter still. I tell you what, John, you saw me. I just had it.
That's why I'm still thinking it's to your right.
Well, here it is.
You put it back?
Just got in the wrong drawer. Okay, so I don't want a lot of this. I'm going to take my little coffee stick like that. They throw those away at Starbucks, just saying. You can buy them. They're really cheap. You can buy them. I use those for my coffee in the morning. Now, I'm going to just say, here's my CAD red light. And I'm going to come up here like this, under this, over the white here on my shoe.
Have you ever seen a pair of shoes like this?
High heel shoes? Sure.
No, with a red bottom and them.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, you want to know why those shoes are so expensive on, like, Let's Make a Deal or something? Price is Right. They're so expensive because they have to give you a reason to pay $600 for a pair of shoes or $1,000 for a pair of shoes. I don't think there's a good enough reason for that. I don't know why anybody would want to, but people do. They'll, every time I watch that show,
and we apologize for anybody that's watching that may have done that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that's your thing, right? That's your thing.
You just can't beat a good pair of Crocs. Am I right, dear?
That's right. So I got my red shoe there. Now, the trick is I need to come next to it with, see, here's some some different colors on my water here, my wet street. See? And then we'll take it on this one and do the same thing. Now, someone's going to say, well, what if I did blue? I don't think it would show up enough because of the black. What's pretty about the red, here's some cad red. I'll put some cad red at the bottom because it's a little darker. See the difference? At the very bottom, it's a little bit darker, but at the top, this is that's your color shoe. Then it's like I say, it is a little darker at the bottom. Here's some purple, and I want to take some purple like this and put a shadow going across here like that between this shoe and this heel. You know, shadows don't want straight lines. They've got to all be out of focus and smudged. We're saying that's a shadow going that way. And then we need a little shadow underneath that. So that shows up, right?
Or a little reflection.
Yeah, I'm going to put my little stick down. And I know I want something kind of going off this way. So I'm going to say there's that's the reflection, one of them from this, okay? And then we've got a little reflection around the toe. This one, this is the fun part now, right? You with me? This is the fun part. I'll tell you what, just to get traceables for art, it's only, you can do it for just a month, but it's $5.95, but it's not per traceable. That gets you all the traceables from our YouTube shows clear back a couple of years. It's a great deal, isn't it, John?
I think so.
And
it's kind of our minimum little support.
it just kind of, you know, it's a kind of an appreciation for what we do. Again, unlike a lot of YouTubers that maybe they have sponsors, we don't have like a corporate sponsor for any of the paints and materials. We buy all that ourselves, and we hope
once you have a sponsor, you got to.
Then you got to say nice things about their stuff, and you know and of course I won't say nice things unless I really believe in it, right? But still, you still have to say that, right? So here's some colors in here now. See, we're starting to have some colors. What was I going to say? That you know, for a while we were using the Salvador paints, and we quit using them because people complained that they couldn't get them or they couldn't see the colors. And it wasn't that we didn't like them anymore.
No, I love them.
We take them when I'm traveling in Australia this year. When we go down this November to Australia, that's what will be going with me. It's my Salvador paints. Just so you know.
And just to be teaching like this on this level, we have to use paints that you guys can get.
Yeah.
Get readily available or find easy substitutes.
Oh, isn't this fun, you guys? And we haven't done much, right? I mean, it just isn't amazing what just the tiniest bit of
color
can do, and lights and darks and shadows and. And if I'm going to say I've got something running through here like this, it would come out the other side too of my shadow. Does that make sense? I'm going to say something's doing that, see? So it's going to come off here something like this with the burnt sienna here down here on the leg here, right? I'm going to say that there's something. Ooh, too much paint. Well, you saw what happened there. Yeah, too much. Let's take a little black. Let's come down here like that with that heel, and then there's the shadow for the heel right there. Wipe the brush off and get a little more paint and just come back and forth like this. So we've got see what a nice reflection we have here going. And then I want this to be a little more narrow here, like that. Let's see, a little bit darker under here. Not much, maybe put some magenta there, that's pretty, for a shadow. Okay. So that's kind of what we're going for here, is a little bit of lights and darks. Then we want something kind of a light gray color in front of the let's find somewhere to mix a color. I want something kind of light. I have the blue here, and we got to get rid of that. Put something very light right here. So I want some sort of light blue color coming down this way. Maybe something a little brighter. Now I've got this nifty blending brush. I can do something like this to indicate a puddle like that. And this is to me, this is the fun part. Usually there's something kind of dark next to got something light here. There'll be something dark next to it. Something dark coming this way. This brush is a little big, but
Well, we do have a smaller one.
I got smaller ones too, but I'm just saying that you can see where we're kind of blending it in pretty well now, right? And I know I want something, so I can take a little zinc white. I want something a little lighter up here, back here where my dress goes, and a little zinc white, because that's transparent. That's why you want this. It's transparent and gives that kind of wonderful watery out of focus effect, which is what we're kind of looking for. See how you can kind of put that over that purple a little bit, not all of it, but you don't want straight. If you're putting in lines, then you miss the point. There's no lines. Everything is just little bits of color, right? That's all you're doing, little bits of color. Just little bits of color in our picture. And that's what we want. Just something down in here. Little bits of color. And put a little paint on the brush, wipe 90% of it off, and then see what you get. See, I want something lighter next to this leg. That leg will show up then. Yeah, that works. Let's see, a little bit of light purple. wipe it off. That's too much paint. A little purple over it. You could do the whole background, I suppose, first, but you won't quite get as the effect because of the idea that you want to kind of make sure the lights and darks are around the edge of the legs. So if you try to do part of me is thinking, well, I could maybe do the do this first. Maybe do something a little darker here, right? You could maybe do it first, but here's why you don't want to. Now, okay, so did I show you guys what we're painting next week? Did I already show that?
No, you
Let's let this dry for a minute and just stop a minute. But you can see we've made some good progress. Let's stop a minute and show you what we've got releasing in the Academy for next week.
What are we releasing next week? Is that next week or is it in this week?
Well, this week and last week. Is it the America set or the
America set was last week?
Well, this is what we did last week, and this is on a 16 by 20 canvas for the Academy. And this is, we originally did one like an 8 by 10 years ago. We decided that you guys deserved the bigger one. And you can see that this is the lilacs in a window. We thought, even though we're getting into the holidays, a lot of people have summer where they live. We thought you guys might really enjoy this. We don't want to just do from November, December only snow pictures in winter because that's not where y'all live. So anyhow, this is a wonderful tutorial. Mary Cassette, if you remember, was one of the original impressionists. There were a couple of women, but she hung out with them, and she was a fabulous artist. One of the few still lifes she did. We have another one of her paintings on the website, and it's Two Gals by a River, and we redid that one this year too. Okay, so there's that one, and then we've got the next one for this week. Now this is on a gallery wrap canvas. You wouldn't have to be, but you use a gallery wrap canvas because then you don't, see if you paint the sides, then you don't frame it. Do you see how the sides are painted like that? So here it is. This is another old EG, what we call our old dead artists from the past. And these two tigers, again, different style of painting. You can see where we used a red background. This is a nifty painting, and some of you, who are really into wildlife and stuff might totally enjoy painting this one.
That's a 20 by 24.
20 by 24. So good to know, right? Yeah, right? And so I'm going to just take that away now. But this, I really love these. I love the fact that we can offer you so many different painting styles and so many different subjects to paint. Okay, so back to our...
All under one roof.
Yeah. And it gets a better deal every week. There's just more and more videos. You know that? At some point, we're going to we have a limit of how many paintings we can put in the cloud. At some point, we'll have to retire a few and bring them out of the vault now and then. But right now, you're still able to get everything. All right, so here's a little bit of zinc white. Going to come through here like that. Just to indicate some water like that. Okay. Ooh, right? And how about something over here through here like that? And particularly back by this heel, I want something a little lighter around this heel. Yeah. And change to brown. Little blue. All right. It's almost, you could almost, it almost looks like the beach in a way, doesn't it, at this point?
It really does.
It could be, except I don't know who would be walking high heels on a beach, but.
I'm sure somebody does.
You think they do, John?
If I spend that kind of money on shoes, I'd wear them everywhere. You betcha.
Okay, so I want to say that this shape is here like this.
I personally don't understand the reason for high heels.
Well, they're not good for your back or your.
I can't believe they're good for anything. Look very painful. I mean, look how high those things are. You're walking around on your tiptoes all day long.
We're not going to get any high-heeled sponsors with this kind of attitude, Jew. No one's going to sponsor high-heeled shoe people. Aren't going to want to sponsor us.
No, I don't know. They'd have to convince me that this is a wise thing.
Well, I was so tall anyway that back when I was doing stuff.
Back in your high heel days?
Yeah, my high heel days. That just the guys I dated didn't want me to wear them because I was taller than them. They didn't like it. So John is so nice. He's taller than me. I love it. You know that? He's taller than me by quite a bit. I mean, I could wear high-heeled shoes and I'd be fine. He'd still be taller than me.
And Crocs even makes high heel shoes.
Yeah, well, they do kind of, but I wouldn't wear them.
No.
Since I'm annoyed with my Crocs, that's all I wear mostly is Crocs. And the last one split on me, just ripped. And I was reading their warranty. I'm going, are you kidding me? That's your warranty?
Yeah.
Like basically, if there's any defect, it's not our problem.
Yeah.
Well, a defect would imply it was your problem. That's what the word defect means to me, is that you did something.
Yeah, but boy,
And it's a problem, right?
Their guarantees, their warranties were really interesting.
Yeah, they've got it. What I used to call a gate warranty. You leave the gate and you're on your own, right?
Yep.
Once you close the gate, you don't got a warranty anymore. Yes.
You're on your own.
Another coat of the red paint. Make sure that it's a little of that red in the.
Well, it's looking good.
Hmm?
Looking good so far.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that fun? And then I want to just bring a little bit of something over like a little zinc white something. Let's clean the brush. Yeah, like that, see? Just put a little light over it. But it is, you could probably spend a little more time on this, but you can get the idea of how you paint this, right?
Well, absolutely.
And Now let's get the shoes. So they're little. There's a little blue in them. So we'll put the little bit of the ultramarine blue over the black. Then there's a little bit of the highlight on the shoe. We may have to dry that. Let me see if I can get this highlight on with that dry. No, I have to dry that shoe, then we'll put the highlight, okay? Just give me a second. We'll be right back. I can remember my first pair of high-heeled shoes I bought. My sister and I had gone on a trip to Europe on a tour, a teenage tour to Europe. I was 14, she was 16. And there was nobody to tell me I couldn't have high-heeled shoes if I wanted them. And of course, that's what people wore, and you saw it in the movies. That's what women wore. So naturally, I wanted a pair of high-heeled shoes too, yes?
At the age of 14?
The age of 14, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And how'd that go for you?
Well, I got to tell you the story because this is just really crazy, John. So I had this sort of mission in mind when I was doing stuff. I had I'm going to turn this sideways. I had this mission of, if I want the black here like this, coming down here on the heel like that. Okay, turn that around. See how neat that looks. Oh, doesn't that look neat? So anyway, I when I was in London, I bought this white leather hat. You know,
Perfect.
at some fancy department store. Okay, and it's Dodie's father owns it now, but back then it was. Okay, so I had this. Then let's see, and I think in Germany, I bought a white purse to go with it, white leather purse. And then when I got to Rome, what I wanted was I wanted a pair of shoes to go with my hat and my purse. And so I went shopping. And I don't know, I guess I told you this story, but some people may not have heard it. So, I went shopping. My sister was back at the hotel, and I didn't have enough money for the shoes. So I told the guy to come back to my hotel, and we'd give him the money. And I think he thought I was offering him sex. Right?
I would think
for the
so.
shoes. At 14, it wouldn't have occurred to me. I mean, I barely knew what sex was, let alone that I would be, you know what I mean?
Trading that for shoes.
I wasn't trading. Then my sister, I said, you have to pay him. And we didn't let him in the room or anything, and then we paid him. But it wasn't until years later I thought, that was like the dumbest, craziest thing, right? You just, you wonder how any of us survive our childhoods, don't you, sometimes?
Especially you.
Oh gosh, yes, especially me. Especially me when you hear the crazy things we did, right? Crazy things we did, and it's that too. And then we've got a one that comes up like this, the bottom here. Here, let me get an actual smaller brush. So anyway, that was just too crazy.
That was Looney Tunes.
It was, it's just amazing that I thought that was going to be okay. There you go. There's that heel coming up in the shadow, like that. Make sure, and that's just black. And I want it darker under this part of the shadow right there. This is the darkest, and I want it to come under here like that, and the shoe about there. So that, you guys, I think is pretty good, because we might put a few more lights and darks in it somewhere. But I feel like we've certainly created, the rain feeling, didn't we? And again, I've got a little lighter over in here. Maybe a little lighter back. Oh, I gotta put the dress on. But then I'll dry it before I do the dress, yeah? Remember, everything goes back and forth. Random shapes. Yes?
Absolutely.
Random shapes, but keep the level kind of. Yes and yes? I'll break up this. I think I need a little dark up in here too, next to the legs. Bring this up this way. Break that up on that side. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put her skirt on. And let's try it first, okay? Now, this was interesting to me because it was a beaded skirt. So I'm going to use a Posca pen to do it.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll show you you see how it's a beaded skirt? So we're just going to suggest the skirt coming around the back of her legs like this. We know we've got one. Here, let's be really brave and kind of figure out what happens. So you've got one that's coming this way, that's coming up and there, right? And you've got one that's coming this way, down like this. Yeah? All right, so that's what we got. So let's just chat while I do this, because this is going to take a little bit, because I'm just making little circles with a Posca pen.
You're actually putting the beads on.
Yeah, I figured we'd be the last of the big spenders on this. And as I put them on, I'll get better at it. I'm sure I'll get faster as I go. Right? And just, how could I not, right? And then this one does this. Just kind of stay in place and make a circle. You don't draw the circle, you stay in place and then make a circle. You see the difference between drawing a circle and staying in place and just making a circle? Just kind of with my shoulder, I'm making a circle. Don't worry about it. They're all pretty tight together. I just thought, that you guys were so wonderful, and everybody's hanging in there with me. And I know that we don't thank the people that, put some donations in tonight to, help us keep the channel going. And we appreciate that very much. And, when we go on a trip, there's hours and hours of work that we have to put into these videos before we can leave. John and I are filming every day for 2 or 3 months before we can leave.
3 months.
And I mean, it's amazing what it takes to be able to put on, to have these shows ready for you guys to watch. So, we appreciate the fact you appreciate us. And we know that a lot of you would like it if I could see your paintings. And of course, I like to see your paintings too. And even if, you can be a Facebook club member for free and then just post the artwork that you've done. Because I like to see how my tutorials are affecting you guys. You know what I mean? I like to see that, that they had an impact. Did they have an impact, if any? And I can tell when you paint them, like, for instance, we did the violets. So many people painted those. that, I mean, I was shocked how many people, painted the violets. And, I understand that flowers are some of our more popular subjects, and maybe you look at this and think it's really just too hard. I think that's a kind of an interesting thing with some of the people that watch our channel, John, is that they think what we're doing is so hard that they can't do it.
Yep, that's true.
And it's step by step. I promise you, it's step by step. It's probably the one of the things that I appreciate is when people explain how to do something, and we really try to explain it to you too.
Another comment we get a lot is, I'm a red member, but I'm just a beginner, and I don't want to send anything in for personal art coaching because I'm too much of a beginner.
Yeah, you're the one that I want to get my hands on before you get too far along. It's like learning to play golf and then suddenly discovering that you need a golf pro, right?
Yeah, because you're gonna learn bad habits.
Yeah, so better that I can catch you now because what happens when you paint is you start getting muscle memory, just like handwriting. And you want to, it's kind of fun, isn't it? This little dress, and then we need the white Posca pen. Let me dry that, and then I'll do the white one.
I suppose you can put a haze over this, aren't you?
Yes.
Material?
Yeah, but I'm looking for the white Posca pen now.
You had it earlier.
Yeah, so shake it up.
So if you're a beginner and you're a red or purple member, don't wait to send your goodies in. We have one gal that did it. She started off pretty rough, and she's really quite good now.
Yeah, she said, I'll never do it. And
She wanted to bail on the first week, and I convinced her, look, at least give it a try. Send something in for a pack. And that's personal art coaching.
Yeah.
When Ginger takes the time and does a video for you, explain what you need to do. Or
maybe something you missed in the tutorial when you were watching it.
Just helps you out. Yeah, it's looking really jazzy now.
Yeah, isn't that kind of fun?
Now I understand why she has high heels on.
Yeah, she's got this fancy dress here.
The dress probably costs a fortune too, and it has all the holes on it.
I know.
Yeah, you can buy pants now that have worn out knees. My mama, she wouldn't let me go out of the house with worn out knees. Let me have those things. I got a patch for them. Let me iron that patch on.
Is that right, John?
Absolutely. And now you guys pay extra for that feature. I don't get it.
See, it's just a little bit of. We'll dry this and we'll go back and we'll glaze over this a little bit too, just
to give the fabric overlay.
Yeah, to give you the sort of the fabric overlay. We may have to come back with a little black after we do that, but
I doubt it.
We'll see.
You're good.
But with a Posca, remember, if you're using a Posca pen, we like them because if you make a mistake, you can wipe it off. But if you're going to do the black, make sure that and then start with the white, make sure you've dried each layer. And, yeah. All right, so let's dry that, and then we'll put a little glaze over it. Mistake. That's all right. I can see it, so I'll fix it.
You said you made a mistake?
Yeah. This, let me just show you. It's all right. Maybe you made a mistake too. This is what you want to see, right? So this is, this one came here like that, and then this one ended.
Oh, you had to go in between her legs.
Yeah. So this one, I can't have that, right? Well, I got so happy with my dots. Let me dry that, and then I'll put the white.
All right, we're back.
So I put a little black up in here, right?
Yeah.
All right, and now I need a little bit of a shadow here. There too. So something darker right there by that leg. Sometimes you can go around and you can say, what could I have that's darker or lighter that would be interesting? And that for me is it. And wow, I think that
That's looking really nice.
this is a little bit darker right down here at the bottom. Just take a little red here. This red will be darker. Yeah, I think so, don't you? And it's just, I think that's a nice, that is a nice way to paint this. Use this Posca pen and sign it. And I'll put the red streak when that dries. Let me just show you the frame piece.
Oh, you got a frame for it? Ooh.
Huh? And wait. Let me just do this. I know you can't. Here. Okay, you guys, look at that.
Wow, look at that, huh?
Is that fun or not? Kind of.
That's classy.
It's classy. And if I was going to do one little thing, which sometimes you see it when it's all you see one little thing, right?
Always.
There's one little thing is that I'd bring this light up right here. There on the back of her leg. Maybe something a little brighter right there. There on that leg. And then this was, I think we got this one very nice and bright. Right here, this. There. I'd say, you guys, we've got Walking in the Rain. I hope that everybody really had fun with this, because we had fun taking it to you. And, if you'd like to comment below, I'd like to know what you're going to be painting for the holidays and what your plans are. And if you find something you'd like us to teach, we're working on next year's schedule too. So I'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next week from somewhere roaming the world.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye.
Ginger Cook, the queen of color, with a blazing brush at the speed of light, and a blank canvas, and a hearty yes and yes. The queen of color, Ginger Cook, and her sidekick, John Little, teach you to paint with acrylics.